All right, welcome back, everybody. Toby Milroy here again, Vice President for AMS, and thanks so much for watching this quick tutorial on our marketing automation engine. This is our new updated marketing automation process and engine for 2016. And as you well know, marketing automation and the ability to systematize and automate much of the communication with your students and prospects and staff, et cetera, is a very important function and a very important process for you to get really under control in your school. You know, our focus and our job here at Atlas Martial Arts Software is to help you systematize your business and help you create more time, more free time for you to be able to focus on higher and higher and higher value activities. So the marketing automation engine basically is this idea, this concept, this process of moving a prospect or a student or any person for that matter through a marketing funnel, through an automated marketing funnel. So for example, if I become a new prospect today, I want that new prospect to be receiving this multimedia sequential targeted marketing automation sequence, right? So on day one, I might send them a text and an email. And on day two, I might send them another text. And on day three, maybe another email. And day 4, day 5, day 6, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the idea here is to really hyper systematize what is happening when a new prospect is created, what's happening when a new student enrolls, when a student signs up on a trial agreement, when they sign up on a regular agreement, when they become a green belt, when they become a brown belt, whatever the case is. These trigger points that we have built into Atlas Martial Arts Software allow you to create and trigger these automation systems based on a variety of categories. So let's go ahead and take a look at all these pieces here real quick. So let's go ahead and navigate on over to our marketing automation piece. This is our marketing automation engine here. And again, you'll see here is the new layout. And these sequences, these little drop-down trees, so to speak, are your marketing automation trigger points. Okay, so if you looked at here, we have prospect appointment. So these sequences down below here are triggered when a new prospect appointment is created. When somebody sets an appointment, either by the phone sheet or by other mechanisms that you may have through the software in the calendar, etc. These sequences are triggered when a new prospect is created. So in some cases, and in many cases, a new prospect would be created and a new appointment might be created at the very same time. So you have to think about how you want to orchestrate that communication. Not all prospects are going to have an appointment, but in most cases, all appointments will be a prospect, right? So you have the ability to permute through that, the ability to set that up however you want it to be in your sequence. So again, this is a new prospect. Here is a new trial agreement. So this sequence is triggered when a new trial agreement is created. So when a student comes in, perhaps for their intro, and you have them sign up on a trial, or perhaps even in your school, the trial agreement is your intro, right? You could have this trigger off when a new trial or intro is created. Here's a new enrollment. So this is when a student becomes a new student, basically, when they enroll in one of your programs. And we'll go through all the criteria in just a moment. Here's a renewal. So this is when an agreement is renewed in your system, and not to be confused with upgrades, which are two separate processes. So this sequence is triggered off of a renewal, and this sequence is triggered off of an upgrade. And this sequence here is triggered off of a rank promotion. So for example, when a student becomes a green belt, or they become a blue belt, or they become whatever the case is, you can trigger off sequences based on that trigger as well. So let's go ahead and you'll see in each of these the criteria are related directly to that sequence. So let's start off with the most common one. Let's start with new prospect for now. And you'll see I already have a couple of them set up in here, but I'm going to go ahead and start a brand new one. So if I hover over this sort of main navigation item here for new prospect, you'll see there's a plus, and that means add a new sequence. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click add a new sequence. I'm going to give this campaign a name. So I'm going to call this demo, let's say new prospect demo test 1. And you can select which program this applies to, right? Or you can have it apply to all of your programs. You'll notice in my sample school here, I have lots of data that you may not have, but this program, perhaps I have a a new prospect who's interested in my jiu-jitsu program, or a new prospect who's interested in my preschool program for kids, or a new prospect that's interested in my after-school program, obviously I would want to communicate with those people differently, right? So you can pick the specific program if you choose to drill that deeply, or you can have just one sequence apply to all of your programs, whichever you like. In this case, I am going to pick, let's say, let me just pick one here. Let's say my taekwondo, let's say my kickboxing program. Let's say I want to choose just my kickboxing program. And I only serve adults in this kickboxing program, so I know that my messages are going to be targeted specifically to people who are looking at that kickboxing program. So I'm going to hit save. And it will create my, you see now I have my new prospect demo test sequence here, and the program interested is kickboxing in the style kickboxing. And you'll see that I have 0 steps created, and I have 0 that are on and 0 that are off, and that'll make sense here in a moment. So let's go ahead and create my first step. So now inside this item, inside this sequence, I can hit a plus, and that will add an event, right? A message, basically, a sequence step, as we call them in our campaign. So in this sequence step, I can switch these on or off. If I switch it to off, that means they will not be sent to my prospects. I might do that if I want to put some content in here and then go back and check it later before I make it live. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. The message type, for right now, you have email and text message. We're going to be adding a lot more functionality to this as time goes on as well. But let's say for right now, I want a text message to go out to these folks. Let's do an email. Let's say an email to go out to these folks. Days after event. So you'll see that this text will change based on the criteria that you picked. But this is going to be triggered X number of days after a person becomes a prospect for this program. So as soon as they become a prospect for kickboxing, this is going to trigger. Now 0 means immediate. So if I put this delay for, let's say, 1 day, that means this will delay 1 day after they become a prospect, and it will send at this given time, right? So if I have this set to 0, that means it will be triggered immediately, and that's what this little message says here. So I'm going to go ahead and set this immediately. So instantly, when somebody becomes a prospect, I want them to get an email back right away. Now I can set my subject line up here. Thanks. And I can also personalize this. So I'm going to click in here and I'm going to say, hey, John, thanks for your interest in our program. So, hey, and then I have my subject wildcards right here. The wildcards are like merge fields, like mail merge inside of Microsoft Word. Hey, John, prospect first. Thanks for your interest. I don't know, bad subject line, but you get the idea. Now I can scroll down here into my body, the body of my message. You have the opportunity to put in HTML source code if you want to do that. If you want to just drop in an HTML message, you can do that. Or if you want to just create your message here, you can do that as well. You can put in all, text if you like, whatever kind of text you want. You can format that text using the toolbar up here. You can make bold, italic, underline, strike through, whatever you want to do. Some simple HTML editing there. Or you can also use the style sheet that we have built in here for you as well, if you want to have special styles and H1, H2, H3 tags, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can also insert images if you like. You can upload an image and pop it in there. You can create tables, line breaks, horizontal lines, whatever you like. So I've gone ahead and crafted my message. Now I can also add an attachment if I choose. Now I frankly suggest that you do not attach things to emails. Attachments do tend to get filtered through most ISPs. Most internet service providers don't like to see physical attachments to their emails. A lot of spam is, perpetrated that way and malware and things like that. I would recommend that you upload it separately and include a link rather than attaching a document, but you can. You're welcome to if you like. We give you that functionality. And you can also use a template. Now, these are the legacy templates that we've had built into the system for several years. So you can use these legacy templates if you like, for example, fall leaves, and then I can preview that here. You see that it gives me that wrapper and it inserts my text inside that wrapper. So you're more than welcome to use those legacy templates if you like, or you can also now drop in custom HTML as you choose. So I've created my message. I've set the schedule. It's for 0 days immediately. And I'm just going to hit save. And you'll see that it takes just a moment to save. And you'll see that this message will then be dropped in right below my, basically in my tree, in the tree sequence for that step, for that sequence. So let's go ahead and add another sequence step. I'm going to add an SMS text message, and I'm going to wait 1 day for that. And I'm going to wait until 1315. So that's 1:15. All of these are set to Eastern time zone. Please note that. Our servers live on Eastern time zone, and we're converting the time. So you have to make sure that you're sequencing these things, you're scheduling these things based on Eastern time zone for now. And they can be rounded up to the next 10 minutes. Our server queues up the messages, and they can take somewhere between 0 and 10 minutes to be delivered. So again, I'm going to, here is my cool SMS message. And again, you see you have a given number of characters here that you can put in there. And again, I can also put in wildcards as well. I can put in their first name if I like to, or perhaps even the program that they're interested in. And then I'm going to hit save. And you'll see that that step is now entered below here. I'm going to add one more step. Now here, I want to show you another feature here that's actually very cool. As you see in this sequence here, I have 3 steps, and they're all set for 0-day delays. You can actually reschedule and move these steps around right from this view. You don't actually have to drill into each message. You can actually move them from right here. So let's say I scheduled this step, and I said, you know what, this step is pretty good, but I really want this step to go 2 days later, not just instantly. So you can just click inside here and just type the number 2. And as soon as you hit enter or click away, whichever enters the text, you'll see that it reorders that delay. Now this will go out 2 days later, right? And the same thing happens with time. Let's say I wanted this to be at 1400 instead of at 0. I can hit that. As soon as I click away, you'll see that that now becomes rescheduled as well. Okay, so that's a little shortcut for you there. You don't actually have to drill into each message. If you would like to edit your message, all you have to do is click the little pencil edit here in line with your message, and you'll see that message pops up and you can edit it there. If you'd like to delete the message, you can just hit the X and the message will go away permanently. So that's a quick walkthrough. Now I'd like you to pay particular attention as you go through these sequences. You'll see that each of these criterion, each of these triggers, so to speak, have different criteria. So for example, let's look at rank promotion for a moment. If I created a new rank promotion sequence, I can name it here, name here, and I can now also select program, style, and ranks that this sequence is triggered by. So if I want this to be triggered by any time someone joins my black belt club and becomes in Taekwondo, actually, yeah, my data is going to look a little weird for you, so I'm going to try to pick one here that I know is going to work correctly, Tongsudo. Okay, so now I can say that I want this sequence to apply only to people who become an 8th Cup Orange Belt in my Tongsudo program who are members of my Black Belt Club. I can have a different and separate sequence for the people who are 8th Cup Orange Belts in Tongsudo who are members of my Masters Club, if I want to do that, right? So you can drill down, you can get pretty granular with this. We've made it infinitely configurable so that you can trigger these sequences based on really any criterion as so far as rank, style, and program goes. Again, the idea behind the rank promotion sequences are to help you promote the upgrades, right? Of course, if someone becomes a gold belt and they're not yet in your leadership program and you want to be telling them about the leadership program, you can use it for that. Also delivering the content for them for that rank. So maybe we cut a little video of their form or we cut some videos of their curriculum, whatever the case is. This is a great tool for you to be able to use to facilitate all of that, right? So again, each of these sequences have different criteria. I'd recommend that you click around, look at these, click the little create button by each one and look at the criteria that you're given so that you can see how granularly you can drill in and create these sequences. So I hope that makes sense for you. This is a very powerful and useful tool to making your life a lot easier and making you a lot more effective in the communication of your upgrade processes and effectual in your student retention efforts, as this will really create a very solid relationship with you and your students, as you'll be able to communicate with them, frankly, ad libitum. So hope that's useful for you. Look forward to speaking to you soon.